single day, more than 5 million Sour Patch Kids are made. And yet, most people have no idea what they're really made of. It all starts with a high-speed symphony of sugar, syrup, and something much stickier. Deep inside the factory, industrial rollers press a rainbow-colored goo into sheets, which are then stamped, dusted, and spun like they're on a candy-coated roller coaster. But how do they pack that sour punch? And what gives them their chewy bite and mischievous shape? There's a secret behind that first shocking tang, and by the end, you'll never look at Sour Patch Kids the same way again. Long before they pucker your lips and stick to your molars, Sour Patch Kids begin life as a blend of carefully sourced ingredients, pumped and pressed through a high-tech candy-making ecosystem that runs around the clock. At the heart of the operation is a sprawling production plant in Hamilton, Ontario, a facility that churns out nearly 200 million pounds of candy every single year, with a hefty slice of that weight dedicated to these mischievous little gummies. While production is global, the Canadian site is among the largest contributors, dispatching billions of pieces across North America and beyond. But the story of this sugar-coated phenomenon doesn't begin in the factory. It starts thousands of miles away in cane fields and corn-growing regions, where the fundamental building blocks of candy, sucrose, glucose, and corn syrup, are extracted and refined. Much of the cane sugar used in the process is harvested in countries like Brazil, India, and Thailand, which remain dominant players in global sugar exports. Meanwhile, corn syrup, one of the most critical components in giving the candy its soft, chewy structure, is primarily sourced domestically from the United States Corn Belt, especially states like Iowa, Illinois, and Nebraska. Once these sweeteners arrive at the plant, they're stored in vast stainless steel silos, each capable of holding thousands of gallons of syrup. From here, the raw materials enter the first phase of production. Large automated pumps move the liquids to mixing vats, where precise volumes are blended with gelatin, water, citric acid, and flavorings to create the base slurry. Gelatin, which helps give the candy its iconic bounce and chew, is typically sourced from bovine or porcine collagen and arrives at the plant as a dried powder. It's slowly dissolved and hydrated before joining the syrup mixture. This phase is heavily mechanized, relying on high-volume batch mixers that combine ingredients with laboratory-grade precision. Sensors continuously monitor temperature and viscosity to ensure consistency, a process that takes about 45 minutes from loading to completion. Once the mix reaches the perfect consistency, it's heated to just over 100 degrees Celsius. This cooking phase activates the gelatin and allows the sugars to merge, forming a homogeneous, semi-viscous liquid that will eventually cool into chewy pieces. At this point, food colorings and artificial or natural flavors are added. In the case of Sour Patch Kids, these include bold fruit flavors such as lemon, lime, orange, and blue raspberry. Most of these compounds are synthesized in flavor labs using a blend of esters and acids designed to mimic real fruit aromas with high stability and shelf life. The hot candy mixture is then poured into molds made of starch, a centuries-old technique still used today because it allows for fast cooling and easy demolding. These molds sit within long metal trays, thousands of which cycle through the factory on conveyor belts. Each tray holds hundreds of impressions shaped like the familiar kid-shaped outline. The starch also plays another role. It absorbs excess moisture and prevents the sticky mixture from bonding to the trays themselves. As the trays snake their way through the cooling tunnels, a journey that can take up to 20 minutes depending on ambient conditions, the candy mixture begins to firm up. Cooling tunnels use forced air systems with precisely controlled humidity to ensure each piece sets uniformly. Once cooled, the now solid gummy shapes are gently shaken loose from the starch using automated vibratory systems. The spent starch is vacuumed, filtered, and reused for the next batch, creating a closed-loop process that reduces waste. But at this point, the candy still doesn't have its famous sour kick. That comes in the next phase, the sour sanding. Each piece is tumbled in giant rotating drums called coating pans. Here, a blend of citric acid and tartaric acid is evenly applied alongside granulated sugar, creating the sharp tang that hits your tongue the second you bite in. This phase is remarkably delicate. Too much acid and the taste becomes overwhelming. Too little and the product loses its identity. These pans are equipped with built-in sprayers and dusters that apply the coating while keeping the pieces from clumping. A challenge when dealing with high humidity or variations in temperature. This sour sugar blend is sourced separately, often from food-grade suppliers in the United States and Canada. Citric acid, for example, is produced by fermenting sugars with a specialized mold known as Aspergillus niger and is manufactured at scale by chemical giants with facilities across North America and Europe. Tartaric acid, meanwhile, is a byproduct of winemaking and is mainly imported from Italy, Spain, and Argentina. These acids are stored in sealed silos and precisely metered out using automated weighing systems. Behind the scenes, teams of technicians monitor the entire process through digital control rooms. These high-tech hubs oversee everything from ingredient flow rates to temperature curves and humidity profiles. While much of the production is automated, there's still a need for manual oversight, especially during changeovers, flavor switches, and quality checks. Each hour, staff sample dozens of pieces for texture, taste, and visual consistency, ensuring that the final product meets strict company and regulatory standards. The finished candies are now ready to be packed. First, they're funneled into weighing machines capable of sorting and filling hundreds of packets per minute. Some factories run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with each shift producing over 1 million individual packets. That's more than 30 million packs a month from a single location. Historically, the origins of Sour Patch Kids go back to the late 70s, when the product was originally launched as Mars Men in Canada. It wasn't until the early 80s that the candy was rebranded in the United States to ride the wave of the Cabbage Patch Kids craze, a pop culture phenomenon that helped turn the brand into a household name. Over the decades, the formula has evolved, but the essential manufacturing process remains rooted in the traditional methods of molding, cooling, and coating that have defined gummy candy production for over a century. Back in the early days of candy making, gummies were produced manually in small batches, often requiring hours of labor just to create a few hundred pieces. Workers would hand pour hot syrup into wooden molds, let them cool for several hours, and then coat them by hand in sugar. Despite the high degree of automation, the process isn't without its challenges. Sourcing gelatin that meets specific halal or kosher requirements can be difficult, particularly in regions where pork-derived collagen is the default. To counter this, climate control systems are installed throughout the warehouse and production floor, maintaining optimal storage conditions from start to finish. From an economic standpoint, the cost of producing Sour Patch Kids is relatively low on a per-unit basis. Bulk sugar costs typically hover around 30 cents per pound, while corn syrup is even cheaper thanks to government subsidies in many countries. Gelatin, being animal-derived, is more expensive, ranging between $2 to $4 per pound depending on the source and quality. Packaging accounts for a large slice of the expense, with specialized films designed to preserve freshness and resist moisture. Labor, energy, and maintenance costs also factor in, but economies of scale mean the average production cost per pack remains under 30 cents, even less in high-volume operations. Globally, the gummy candy market has surged in recent years, with North America leading consumption. The United States alone accounts for over 30% of the global gummy sales, with Sour Patch Kids consistently ranking among the top 3 best-selling non-chocolate candies. Their appeal spans generations, driven by nostalgia, pop culture collaborations, and a growing range of flavor variants, from watermelon to tropical mix. To meet rising demand, factories have scaled up operations using modular production lines that can be quickly adapted for new shapes, flavors, or dietary versions, such as sugar-free or vegan-friendly alternatives. Each gummy takes roughly 60 to 90 minutes to go from raw syrup to packaged product. That journey spans nearly a dozen stages, hundreds of machines, and dozens of workers keeping watch. And while they may look like playful little candies, there's a mountain of science, engineering, and global logistics behind every bite. The next time one melts on your tongue and hits you with that sharp, sour zing, remember, it's not just candy, it's a marvel of modern food manufacturing. And inside this factory, the secrets to making billions of them are being guarded, refined, and scaled with every passing hour. Thanks for watching! If you've made it this far, you've now seen just how much work, precision, and sweet science goes into creating those tiny, tangy Sour Patch Kids. From giant vats of syrup to high-speed packing machines. It's a fascinating reminder that even the most playful snacks come from a world of serious engineering and global supply chains. If you enjoyed diving into the world behind the candy, there's plenty more where that came from. Click on another video to keep exploring the wild, wonderful world of food production, from factories churning out ice cream sandwiches to machines that make waffles by the thousands. Don't forget to hit that like button if this one sparked your curiosity, and subscribe if you want more behind-the-scenes looks at how your favorite treats are made. And here's where we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know. What's your favorite Sour Patch flavor? Or is there another candy, snack, or food item you've always wondered about? We might just make that our next video.